This is Jack from Buck Talk. What I've got for you today is a question about a trust. But first, I may be a financial advisor, but I'm not your financial advisor. This video is for entertainment, not for advice. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. New video coming tomorrow. All right, let us take a look at today's question. So, I'm 26 years old and just found out I've been left a considerable sum of money, but you won't receive it until you're 50. Will there be any way to get that sooner? Okay, so it seems like you may or may not realize this, but what you're talking about is a trust. Okay, so a trust is when there's a document, and that document is called the trust, that controls how money is dispersed. So that's almost certainly what we're talking about here. And trusts can say anything. You can write a trust almost any way that you want. There are very few limitations to that. So let's read the question so we get any more details. So I feel like an ungrateful scumbag asking this. You understand wanting your loved one to be mature before you get the inheritance. You're very grateful, but 50 years is a bit excessive. It is a bit excessive, actually. Much more common for that age to be like 30, 35, 40 these days. 50 is old, and most of the people who inherited something at 50 have now decided, oh, well, for my kids, I'm going to make sure that's 10 or 20 years younger. You don't have any more specifics on how it was left, but is there ever a way around waiting this long? So there will, assuming this is a trust, which I just think it's got to be, there is a trustee who's the person who's making decisions about when you can take distributions. And that trustee would be the person to talk to about this. And if you know who that is, you could reach out to him. It could be a family member. It could also be a professional trustee, either what's called a professional fiduciary, someone who works in a trust department. But I think figuring out, okay, how exactly does this work? The best way to do that is going to be with a conversation. And very often, the trustee is going to have discretion to make distributions before you hit that age 50. Usually, the way these things are structured is that once you turn 50, you can do whatever you want with it. They just want someone else looking over it before you're 50. And so if you said, hey, I want to take out $100,000 for a down payment for a house, and the trustee thinks that's reasonable, which I think they'd be very likely to do, there's a standard that may or may not apply to your trust. It's called HEMS, HEMS. And so it means if it's for health, education, maintenance, or support, those are the types of things that the trust is meant for. Now, I have no idea if your trust says any of those things. Even if it doesn't, when something falls into one of those categories, health, education, general maintenance, or support, it's more likely that a trustee is going to approve it as something reasonable, as opposed to, if you wanted to go on a giant vacation and blow through the money, well, then the trustee may not be acting in your best interest by letting you do that. So I think talking to the trustee, figuring out who that is and talking to them and finding out, hey, what's the deal? What does this say? Maybe even you'd be able to find out how much it is. It sounds like you might know. I think that is a good next step. And the trustee probably has discretion to disperse it sooner. Good luck.